How's it going, everybody? It's Adiar, and I'm back with another Thea Lightning Storm video. This is going to be the second Thea Lightning Storm video of the season. However, as you can see, we're on Thea 3 now. I did the mana swap that I spoke of in the Thea 1 video, and I wasn't really enjoying it as much as I thought I was going to. So I decided to instead swap over to Thea 3, and we're now playing a Wilt version of the skill. So basically, if you're familiar with Path of Exile, for example, we are essentially playing a poison character. So far, just to show you what we've been able to do and accomplish on this character, we have pushed our boss conquest up to 3052, and we have gotten Supreme Showdown up to level 18. However, 17 and 18 were only 2-star clears. They were not 3-star. You'll need a little bit more than what I've got to do that. You can probably 1 or 2-star 19 as well. But you definitely need to bump up the build before you go into 20 for sure. But that's the thing about this build. It's very cheap. It's very relative to the amount of damage we're getting. This is a very cheap build. Just to quickly go over the gear for you, I'm using a solid river with a energy shield, and then we have a corrosion down here as well. I'm using a vortex heart corroded with with positive area instead of negative area. I have a single corroded dawn break, and then I have crafted dirty tricks onto that. We have tri-res rings on both sides with damage and an energy shield. If there was this ring should have a block mod on it. That way I would be block capped. As you can see right now, we're at 86 and 82 on the block. So a block mod on this ring would cut me for block. And of course, everything is T1 gear. There's no priceless gear to be found here. We have 2 double corrosions, but only like this corrosion affects my damage. This one doesn't. And neither of these is ideal. I very much failed this corrosion. You really want to be seeing a corrosion on the bottom side of this. Chaos Abyss is used for penetration, and you eventually do want to get the upgraded version right here. Valerie's Nitro, amazing pair of boots. I don't know if you could ever take these off of the build. Maybe with some priceless crafted gear, possibly, but I don't know. King's Moon is the lower side grade of that. And then there is a thing that I want to just point out for you real quick. This amulet is very strong for the build and is a definite option for you. As is Eternal Sea Fog. Eternal Sea Fog does give us Ellie-res, and it does give us defense, which increases our energy shield. And as you note, I am not res capped right now. So putting on Eternal Sea Fog, if you've got the damage for the content you're doing, not only will you get a ton of extra speed out of it, but you also get extra survivability. When you're doing boss content, such as the boss stages, or when you're trying to push, I would say up to and including stage 19 of the showdown, you can actually just go double traceless pain rings. Yes, you will tank your resistances, but so long as you're just like actively dodging the abilities, it won't really be a problem. I definitely don't think you can do that going into showdown 20. That man is a menace. He basically blink attacks you. Like, I don't know if I would do it there, but hey, more power to you if you want to try it. As far as the scepters go, scepters have a very interesting craft on them. So our tower sequence is 20% ailment duration, 20% skill effect duration, and 20% CDR. All 3 of these stats scale this build, so we have this on both scepters. As for actually crafting the scepters, this is basically what you're aiming for. Energy shield, int, reap. On this build, we're a poison build. We care about how long our reaps are, unlike mind control, where you just care about how many reaps you have and what their cooldown is. Here, we care about the entire reap package. We care about how many we have, how long they are, how much the reap duration is, all of those things. Like the reap cooldown, we care about all of that. Of course, this mod is crazy important. This is where we're getting our wilt damage from. It's on both of our weapons, so we're getting 70% between the 2 of our base damage as wilt damage. Erosion damage, and then affliction effect. On the second one, we see we've got it crafted basically the same, except I hit lightning skill level before I hit the int, and I just kind of kept it. For Dreamcrafts, I've got affliction effect, and I've got some additional damage. if you can hit them, you really want to look for the additional blessings on Thea, but you know, sometimes you get unlucky, sometimes you don't hit them. It is what it is. For our slates, I did mention that we basically only have one mod on our pedigree when it comes to bossing, and that is completely true. We have Beacon for bossing, and then Windwalk doesn't really do anything. Windwalk only affects the first 4 seconds of combat that you have with something, and after that, it has 0 effect. So after the first 4 seconds, this is just a Beacon pedigree. However, let me say this. This, while it is not very good for bossing, is incredible for your mapping. It like so as you're mapping, you're stacking affliction on things while you're applying your dots, and as soon as and then you're reaping them, right, which is doing a large chunk of the dot damage immediately. What this says is when you reap them, you do 80% more damage. It makes your smooth. It makes the clear so smooth. So yeah, even though this is not affecting my bosses, I don't even know what I would want to replace this with. I have no idea. For the corners, we've gone for blessings, and then like I went with the block. I want the block right here, so we've got some block there. Blur and agility blessing, focus and block once again. This is spell burst and some damage over time on the starlight. And then just affliction effect, like really cheap starlights, not really good starlights to be really fair with you. My starlights are pretty bad, and then I paid like less than 300 a piece for each corner. This is my slate. I know. I listen. I know what I know. I could put legendaries down here, okay? But this is the cheap setup, okay? Just it is what it is. This mod here, however, this blue mod, really important because we have dirty tricks and because we always inflict every ailment, and because we're getting bonuses from ailments. We do want to make sure that we're inflicting all of them. So the getting this basically just ensures that we have cold damage. That way we are able to, having the cold damage basically makes sure that we're getting all of the ailments, because we had no other source of cold damage on the build. So we were missing an ailment, which was a 6% multiplier, and then an additional 8.7% multiplier from one of our supports. For the trees, we are Goddess of Deception, Psychic, Magister, and Shadow Master. In your main tree, you do have a talent choice. You can go Affliction for more damage, or you can go Plague just to make your mapping feel a little bit cozier. That's going to be an up to you choice, and of course, you can freely swap these whenever you feel like it, so it's not much of a big deal. Hero traits are going to be stock standard for Thea. This is your bossing setup. This is your mapping and AoE setup. So, you know, just swap these as you need to. In town, you got to remember to swap those in town. There's nothing like crazy amazing about the candles either. They are single T0 candles. So I have Grudge on this candle, and then I have +1 Curse on this candle. We are using some canvas supports, and they are fully leveled. And we have one on our Shackles of Malice, and we have one on our Corrosion Focus as well. Auras are going to be pretty standard for a dot build: Precise Pain, Swiftness, Domain Expansion, and Corrosion Focus. We are running Double Curse with Black Hole and then Shackles of Malice on our bar. You do have a choice of getting rid of the amulet and using the illusory amulet to give you the curse on hit. If you do that, my suggestion would be to, and you could really just do that while you're mapping and for a little bit more smoothness. So just do that. And then what you could do is you can replace the corruption with a blurry steps for more movement speed. And you just change out the supports and you're good to go. If you don't have Shackles of Malice and you can't afford Shackles of Malice Defile, instead what you're going to do is you're going to run a Spell Burst activation medium. Am I out of them? Where did I may have deleted something in my accident. Regardless of that, Star Stalker is fine. You put a spell burst on it, and then you put some supports on it for CDR and duration, and you'll be fine. And of course, I will have all this detailed in the written guide for the video. I just didn't have time to do it. You know, there will be a written guide. There's been one for every video. There's going to be one for this one. The written guide for this one will not be as in-depth as the previous ones, because this is kind of just a continuation of the already made mind control build. So this is something that like you could just swap into this off of mind control. It is gonna play different. It is like a different aspect of dot damage. But again, this is all T1 gear. There is no priceless gear here. All of this, level 89, level 86, level 86, level 88. This is all either legendaries or non-priceless gear, so it's a very smooth transition, I think. Anyway, if you do decide to play this version of Lightning Storm on Thea 3, I do hope that you enjoy yourself with it. This will push you pretty far into Profound, I would say, and of course, as you saw, it'll push most of your Dragon Board rewards. I think it's like 3160 or so, where like those cut off. So this can definitely get to that with just a little bit of investment into like actual like past T1 gear, or even just like some good double corrosions on the gear that we currently have. Written guide linked in the description. If you have questions, post down below, join the Discord. And if you enjoy this build or have been enjoying any of the content and you have not subbed already, please consider subbing. The growth of the channel this season has been absolutely incredible. Yeah, I have no other words for it. It's been incredible. So thank you all. Hopefully you enjoy this one. And new build soon. Discord voted for Thea 2. I'm out. Bye-bye.